An explosive first map from Team Vitality. We need to see the Brazilians show some resilience here as we head on into the second map in this final best-of-3 series. Overpass, of course, going to be the map pick of the Frenchmen. They're currently undefeated on it, Hugo. They have a 100% win rate on this map. That's pretty scary if you are this Brazilian squad heading into this in what could be the game that, the match that sees you finish second place here at DreamHack Atlanta.
Yeah, and after such a dominant run as well, right? Like this team looking like on lanners so far this weekend. They finished bottom of Pro League, get auto-relegated just a few days ago, come to Atlanta with people having low expectations maybe after their performance there, but they blew us out the water. They made it all the way to the grand finals, taking down the likes of Ghost along the way, and that was an impressive win earlier on. But right now, as shown by those odds, Harry, 7.23. Luminosity did not look like the powerhouse we knew over on Mirage. Let's hope Overpass can be a bit of a different story. Let's hope they can really bring it to Vitality and we can have a closer affair. But right now, the French are looking furious.
Yeah, they almost certainly are. And it wasn't ZywOo stepping up this time around. There's been a lot of excitement around it, justifiably so. Instead, we were looking more towards the likes of Apex and MBK having a very good game there as well alongside them. But Apex led the charge, 26 kills to his name and 13 deaths. Next nearest on the board was ZywOo and MBK on 18. Over on the Luminosity side of things, we were really hyping up Henny heading into this matchup. He, was leading the charge. He was top of the board, but didn't have half the performance we've been used to seeing. So we need to see that recovery. But let's go ahead and get to this second map in the final best-of-3 series here at DreamHack Atlanta. Luminosity currently sitting one map down, and as we head into the map pick of Vitality, they're going to have to try and bring the heat here on their CT side if they want to get back into this one. Steel, you can see buying up the defuse kit, buying that little bit of utility. He's going to go ahead and have his work cut out for him in this round, but it's Henny. Oh, look at him roaring to life. Going to go ahead and mow down 3 as everything's coming up Henny right now. Steals him with one more, and Apex will manage a quick double. But Neckers shuts him down at Luminosity. What a change. They managed to pick up the pistol here on Overpass.
Now maybe do we have a game on our hands, Harry? We're over on Orpa's map. It is Overpass, right? You think Mirage is good for the AWP. This is going to be Henny's playground. And starting off with 3 headshots in the pistol is certainly what you want from this man. A 1-0 for Luminosity. Vitality sticking it with the eco for now. They're going to go for that early third round buy that we've started seeing all too common on the T sides now. More so forces coming through on the CT sides. The Luminosity, they're armed to the teeth. Rifles upon rifles, only 1 SMG into this round. They know that Vitality are likely just going to be running Glocks anyway. And that is the case. Yell with the scout already tacking down on long. Lucas doubles up towards the toilets as well. And MBK going to walk to his death. Is Vitality already getting torn to pieces. And just like that, flawless round from Luminosity, exactly what you would expect. Here's where the big guns come out for the big boys over on the French side.
Yeah, good stuff from Luminosity. Did not let this round get out of control. They managed to keep it very, very clean, as you say. And, it's small steps, right? But it's steps in the right direction. Luminosity, they are on the chopping block here. That guillotine is resting overhead. And these Frenchmen, they're ready to pull that down and decapitate this Brazilian beast. Neck is going to get found down here towards short. It's ZywOo to open things up. MBK now chiming in with another, and so much damage done already in this round to Luminosity. Vitality sitting pretty in this one. They have a very comfortable man advantage. They're going to be setting up outside of this B bomb site. Luminosity rotate all 3 players to this position, loading all their eggs into one basket. And there is Steel to go ahead and reclaim 1 frag at the very least. He's going to get tested though as Apex. Slowly but surely going to go walking his way, and that'll be the kill going the way of this man. Quick double down, and that leaves Yell in the hot seat.
Yeah, there's surely no way he can get much done here. 2 players are low, which gives him the option to get 1 shot with a scout, and that's exactly what happens to Apex. But now he's got to dive in and commit to this round. Actually expecting some sort of flank, but that's not coming through. Misinformation here for Yell. And Vitality are already starting to push forward. They know he's in the pit, and RPK will send him packing. That's the first round taken for Vitality. Even with the aggression coming through on short, a bit of well-timed aggression from Luminosity to actually crunch that connector while playing aggressive on that B water position. And MBK is just so ready for it there. So Vitality not slipping up in that first gun round. Luminosity going for the force right on back, and Yell's on the AWP considering he's glass cannon. Henny not quite in that hot seat just yet. He's on the SMG. No AWP needed for Vitality considering they know Luminosity's buy is going to be fairly weak, and if they can win this rifle round, that's a free AWP gifted to ZywOo. Definitely not what Luminosity want.
Definitely not. And also, you look at this, Yell is the secondary AWPer for this team, but you kind of compare his performance to Henny's at this event, and it has been night and day. Henny has been the standout presence within this Luminosity squad, so having him on the MP9 does feel a bit like a disservice. Neck is going to get tagged up early on inside of B. Vitality now applying the brakes, slowing down just a little bit, going to focus instead on taking control of mid here. They already have Short and Water locked on down. Yell, glass cannon with this AWP, doesn't have armor, so he's got to be very wary of aim punch and these nades looking to rain on in. MBK, ooh, does get spotted. Might not want to try this again because Yell's posted up in this position, going to go ahead and wait for that smoke to rain on down, and that will block off Yell's vision for the time being. MBK going to find him through the smoke. That's the AWP dropped. It will at least be retrieved by Steel, trying to throw his rifle back to be picked up by the other man inside of the A-bomb site, but Vitality is going to be a B hit, and Henny now and Neckers have to try and stand their ground.
Already one of them going down, and Henny's going to follow in suit as well. MBK had already thrown utility up towards A, so Luminosity maybe not ready for the pace at which B was going to be hit. Lucas and Steel, wrong side of the map. Vitality already on the hunt. They've taken this one flawlessly so far, so they're going to elect a couple of players to try to hunt down these remaining savers. Get rid of every gun they can. Steel's picked up that AWP, and Vitality know it was on long. They did see Yell with it earlier, so it would be pretty valuable if he can get that frag, but Steel holding his own, taking down MBK, his teammate going down on Short. And this AWP is really worth its weight in gold. He needs to hold on to this, so every exit frag is going to be so important. Vitality haven't boxed in, but I don't think they want to go for this just yet. They show a bit of respect to the last remaining player of Luminosity. As I say that, ZywOo dives in, and Steel's just going to survive. He's going to get away with this one for one more round. So Vitality find their second on this T side, but even with that saved AWP, it's not like Luminosity can buy up around it. Steel feeling pretty lucky he actually got away with that AWP, all things considered. And it will go over to the side of Henny, who actually buys up armor into this one. So Luminosity really got to play around this one weapon if they want to get anything out of this round. It's very difficult considering everyone's on USPs with that lone deagle, especially when Vitality is just storming into the B-bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, this round's already over. There's no way back into it for Luminosity, and they know it. Henny, at least, will be afforded the opportunity to hold on to this AWP. The rest of Luminosity now can just look to act like bodyguards in that sense, group up random and make sure that AWP is held into the next. Vitality going to be picking up a third here. The likelihood is that they keep it very, very flawless in the process. Apex hunting them down. Vitality would love to take this AWP away. It is such a major piece of kit for this Luminosity roster. One of the things the desk was kind of touching upon, ZywOo, you know, while he is incredible with that AWP in hand, as he showcased to us, he's a great rifler as well. With Luminosity, you do kind of notice when you have, you know, your Hennies not with the AWP out. You mentioned how in that best of 3 series earlier, it was what, 58 kills in total from him, and something like 48 of them coming on the back of the AWP. So there is that rather large kind of skill gap between the two. So when that AWP is missing, you really do notice it over in the Luminosity camp. They were able to hold on to it though, and Henny's going to take it with him into round number 6. Vitality picking up a third. And once again, just running this MAC-10 still on MBK. They haven't lost any players since they've been moving on to these rifles. The pressure starting to build up for Luminosity. There's a pretty big bank account already built up for the Frenchman here.
Yeah, and a nice nade already chipping down Henny just down to 71. Vitality, though, not looking towards B, despite Luminosity being quad stacked down on that lower site. They're going to creep their way up connector and take Short in the meantime. So Yell, he's in a position where he can jump spot and have a lot of information as to where Vitality are if they don't play the toilets, but that's exactly where they're sat. This gives them a really good ability to just rush onto the bomb site before Yell can call for those rotations. So right now, it's exactly what Vitality are going to muster. Yell falls back, playing for that retake on the A bomb site. Not exactly going to be an easy round, though, unless he can get a kill to make it worth it. There's the first. Apex is dead. Steel probes in through the smoke. He won't commit to it. Vitality going to be allowed to get that bomb down. And in the 4-on-5, the retake is on for Luminosity.
5v4, so they do want to try and go for it, but there's still so much utility left up on the Frenchman, and that's going to be the problem. Luminosity, they're waiting now, but eventually you're going to have to push through these smokes as a new layer goes on down. can't just wait this one out any longer. They're going to have to flash on through, and there's still 2 incendiaries. One of those actually going to get thrown out over at the bank, but Happy still holding on to his. They get forced into the arms of ZywOo, and the remaining players trying to exit out through bank. MBK shuts them both down, and Vitality going to be picking up round number 4. Lucas desperately trying to make an exit. And he goes down with the bomb. Vitality, a 4th to their name.
And that's why you never see any teams playing retake on A site overpass. That was so difficult, especially considering Vitality went right into A at the beginning of the round, right? They hadn't thrown a fake onto B, they hadn't used up their utility, so bomb goes down. Luminosity have an advantage, but as you said, Vitality just was so much utility to keep Luminosity out until that bomb was almost ticked. So great round from Vitality, 4-2. Luminosity now going to be under-equipped once again with that solo AWP brought up into this round. Henny had remaining cash, so he went for it. But you're really going to be asking for a miracle to win the round off just the back of one AWP with no one else buying up. Or a massive mistake from Vitality, and right now these guys are looking flawless, so can't expect that. Longer to be taken here from Vitality. Only Yell in position to stop that. This AWP is down on short for the time being, so Henny, a few angles to hold, but none with any opponents in for him to find, with them sending 3 up towards this long position. And he will have the opportunity to fall back and try and play on that back of the A site to stop this long crawl, and he's already taken down MBK. Now Vitality know there's an AWP in play, but that's the only gun they've spotted, so they're going to start to question exactly what Luminosity have pulled into this round in terms of the buy. Happy getting dinked, and this is not going as clean as Vitality maybe would have liked.
Tagged up, and Apex is going to get bought low as well. This is still a dangerous round here for Vitality, and they're more than aware of that. Lucas going to go ahead and find himself one. Does retrieve the AK, and actually going to get bailed out by Yell. They're giving another shot here, but Happy looking more like grumpy as he rounds the corner. Going to go ahead and delete Lucas from this round. Now turning their attention down toward this B bomb site. That's where Henny resides right now on this AWP, sat up in the heavens. And Henny, it's all eyes on you to try and hold the fort, able to open things up. And he's been a real standout player. He's standing up now as he goes ahead and roars to life with a 3rd. Only 8 seconds left in this round, and Happy, there's no time for him. Luminosity going to be finding themselves a 3rd here on the back of Henny with this Catalyst AWP. And Happy, while he might look to try and take it away from them, he's not going to get away with that, so he's lost out, going down after the time. And that could be a way for Luminosity to get back into this game.
I mean, we said we needed a miracle, and miracles do happen here on Overpass. 4 kills from Henny with that AWP, and you could definitely see once Vitality saw that first AWP to take down MBK, they started to question exactly what was into that round and exactly what Luminosity were trying to do, because they just kept up the aggression with pistols, kept chasing down Vitality as they kept forward with the man advantage. 2 AWPs now going to be the result of that. Luminosity coming up with some profit. Vitality, they're pulling one on ZywOo as well, so we've at least got that weapon to worry about. For now, though, he's barely left the spawn. Luminosity, for the time being, is set up with a triple B. 1 in the heaven, 2 down in pit. And Apex, he's hungry. He's looking for this opener. Very open angle for him to check out heaven without getting peeked from Nekkers, but unfortunately, even if he gets that kill to Lucas, there'll be an instant response. So he's got to be very careful not to walk too deep here. Vitality set up outside of B very early on, but with the bomb going up towards A, it doesn't look like it will be a full commitment for the time being. Apex going to decide to shuffle back, and that could be well timed because Luminosity, they're looking down this monster tunnel as well. They've just spotted Apex on the retreat, so a lot of information has just gone the way of Luminosity. We're going to see Lucas rotate off the back of that, and Nekkers as well. Luminosity are going to be quad stacked on this A bomb site when Vitality go for the push.
Flash goes over there, that wards Yell off of this angle. Both the AWPs for Luminosity up in this A bomb site. Rotation's already coming in, and that's all on the back of this push round right now. You can see from Steel, he's getting all the information in the world for Luminosity. Knowing is half the battle, though, Hugo. They say the battle is the other half of the battle. Lucas, he's going to go ahead and lose his to Apex. Happy wins out a fight of his own, tapping it down Yell, and now it is just Henny. Fully blind, MBK deletes him. Steel finally arriving on this flank. And he's got so much to do from this position. The hunter becomes the hunted, and Steel has to go ahead and turn tail and run for the hills. Vitality picking up a 5th. Everything looked like it was going the way of Luminosity there. They have all the information in the world. You've got 4 players stacked inside of that A-bomb site, and still Vitality take this round with 3 players staying alive.
And that's just evidence of the individual skill we have over on the side of Vitality, right? Everyone winning their duels, and you know, even with 4 players there for Luminosity, plus that flank that you mentioned, that should be no way in hell Vitality win that round, but the entries are found, the trades are there, MBK with 2, and just like that, 5th round taken here on the T side. This has been a strong start on Overpass so far, and Luminosity getting reset. That's going to really crunch the numbers. Look at the money left on this CT side. Henny's the only man with over $3,000, and even then, what do you do here if you're Luminosity? You can buy around that 1 rifle, but you've still got to eco off the back of that in the follow-up round if you don't win it, and that's a likely, you know, scenario to face. On the flip side, though, we've seen them win a round with just 1 AWP and 4 pistols, so you don't want to count them out of any of them, but Luminosity do decide to force. We've got an SMG, an AK, 3 pistols here. Vitality not looking fearful just yet.
Apex, he's certainly not feeling any fear right now. The top performer back in the previous map. This time is going to get shut down by Neckers. He's in with that response down here at B. Issue is it's still a 4-on-4, and Vitality have lots of utility, all the firepower in the world to try and work with. Luminosity only having 1 man up here inside of A. Does now see Yell in the hot seat. ZywOo, he's been red hot today, able to single-handedly open up the A bomb site. Rotations coming in from Luminosity. The utility, that's been the real reoccurring problem for them. It looks to go ahead and throw even more problems in towards this round as MBK able to pick up Neckers. The rest of this round now just looking to try and fall into place. Lucas left up. 1v4 required. Well, he does pick up the first. ZywOo is instantly in with the reply. And that's something you do have to give Vitality credit for, is their trades. The second Luminosity spring out and find a kill here or there, there's always someone posted up nearby to try and answer back.
And it seems like time after time, Vitality are walking into bomb sites where Luminosity only have 1 or 2 members stacked up on it. All the reads are going well here for the French. They're never running into full stacks of Luminosity. So Vitality getting rid of that force buy pretty easily, and now we have another eco coming through for Luminosity. Before that, a pause, a moment to work out how they want to approach the buy round in the upcoming one. They will have that ability to pull in the AWP once again after this eco. And maybe we'll see Henny get a little bit more aggressive now. We've seen a couple of rounds where he's really come to life on that AWP, but set him up towards a party, get a pick towards playground, get aggro down on B. Plenty of options here for the AWPer of Luminosity, but for now it's just pistols. Hold back with a flashbang, get aggressive into this playground. But unfortunately, Vitality, once again, as they have been doing the entire game, walking into the empty bomb site. They're already in B, Harry. So anything that Luminosity do on this side of the map is going to remain null and void as long as that bomb is picked up and taken to that B bomb site.
Yeah, Vitality making the right read. They're very methodical in their approach. They're not going to go rushing into this stack anytime soon, and they will be picking up this this 7th round. If you're Luminosity, you've only got the pistols for the most part. You can maybe look to try and take something away from a man like Happy, who currently sits here in Connector. Anything you do take with you out of this round is going to be fantastic, but Happy not too keen on handing anything the way of the Brazilians. Does back off, but he's going to keep on taking these fights. Happy has to be a little bit careful. He is getting overwhelmed, and he will get dropped off. And AK's been retrieved, but Vitality, look at this map, just swarming with yellow as they're pushing on in to try and deny this save. And MBK looking to make it so. We'll find all 3 Brazilians hiding out down in the Connector. 7th round locked in, and things getting scary now because already this is a phenomenal T side from Vitality.
Yeah, they haven't let off the pace, right? We've had that, you know, aside from the pistol and the conversion that was found by Luminosity, we have that one random round where Henny gets 4 kills with the AWP on an eco. Other than that, we've seen nothing from Luminosity. It was their T side that they mainly struggled with over on the previous map, but that looks to be stemming to both here on Overpass. There we go, we've got that boost up and connected, something different here from Luminosity, a man set up to succeed. Question is how much you're really going to find. In fact, I think it's a double boost as well. We have 2 players in the connector, 2 down on B. Yell has found that opening kill to MBK. A retake set up here on that B bomb site from Luminosity as they look for a pick off the top of that tower. Double Molotov cuts off any chance of a rotation. Vitality own the B bomb site. They can get the plant in. We've already seen a 5v4 after plant not go the way of Luminosity. This one has got to be different.
Well, this time they have at least managed to delete Happy. ZywOo going to try and keep his eye on short, but instead he's going to fall at the first hurdle. RPK and Apex left up. And now taking a little bit of time just to hide themselves away. They've got a lot of work to do. The tank's down here. Gonna get blown limb from limb. It's Apex left up, and Henny. Spidey senses start tingling, turns on round. Luminosity will be able to pull off that retake. They make it so they find a 4th round. Keeping 5 players alive.
Yeah, Apex realized that boost position's not going to be valuable, and he's the only man left back up. They've just got too many players, so he had to run. He had to try and flank onto Henny. Obviously heard, so Luminosity do get away with a round and pick up a free AWP to boot. So pretty decent, all things considered, right? Not losing any players down on that B bomb site. And a bit of a different approach with going for those heavy stacks as well. I kind of like that, right? They lock down short, but they also play retake on B. So Monster's the only area Vitality can try and take. And while they do it, they won't get any further. Rifle's still in here for the French. ZywOo on the AWP, he's getting flashed into the water. Dangerous. Goes through the smoke and does have the support of MBK. So side-by-side Vitality move. Again, this retake set up on B from Luminosity with a boost up in the spawn from Steel. He has set up that AWP of Henny above him, so this is going to be a better chance to actually find the opening kill, but it's actually missed. Apex is going to spot it as well, and as a result, when you spot that boost, you know that B, 9 times out of 10, is going to be completely empty. You can rotate that bomb, you can take control, but you always have to worry about the fact that Luminosity know you're in B. They know that they can flank round this T-spawn. Apex has gotten aggressive though, and he's dropped Henny in the meantime. ZywOo even finding a kill off a rotator in heaven. Apex is not done with 2. Or one, sorry, he's back in with a 2nd. And just like that, that bomb can go down, and Vitality in a fantastic position.
For Luminosity, I think it's about time that maybe they try heading for the hills, try and hold on to these rifles, and indeed they will. Vitality be picking up an 8th. And that's one of the problems with running that boost at the back of the B bomb site, that more retake-orientated setup twice in a row is, you know, a man like Apex, you see him, the second he spots that boost, just barrels into the bomb site. And even if he doesn't find kills, just his presence there was so unnerving. You can see Luminosity, they're not in control of that site anymore. They're having to try and poise just to flush out that one man. And you saw how much work he was able to get done on his lonesome, single-handedly opening up that round. Especially
when that position is so valuable to get at least 1 kill, right? We saw in the previous round when they did that, no one gets a kill because they're using full M4s, and that's, you know, excusable. But if you do that twice in a row, and either times you get an opening frag from that position, it's very hard to, you know, actually close it out with a retake. And so it's not going to happen because Apex, he notices the problems that they had in the last round, and this time he just gets in their face, shows off his individuals as he did in that previous map. Apex being the top performer over on Mirage, and he is the same story over here in Overpass as well. 8-4 here for Vitality. No AWP for Luminosity here. Their money's been broken. That's a 2nd reset they've had to succumb to on this Luminosity side. So Vitality never really letting this team get in the game. And again, as Bok mentioned on the desk before this matchup, if Luminosity have trouble with the money, if they can't afford these full buys and get that AWP and double up that has really gotten them to this grand finals in the form of Yell and Henny, they are really going to struggle. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Vitality running away with this game once again.
Yeah, a double up between Yell and Henny, or, you know, as the two-sim name is Hell, right? Because that's essentially what it feels like you're running into. Yeah, we've hardly seen it. Vitality, they've had so much money. ZywOo's been AWPing, Happy's been allowed to pick up the double AWP alongside him whenever they want to try and go for it. Money hasn't been a problem for the Frenchman, and that has been the polar opposite story here for Luminosity. This round as well, important thing to know, and this has been a reoccurring problem, is Vitality, so much utility left. There's 50 seconds left in this round. They're aggressing in through mid and securing control of toilets. Now, Nekkers is able to pick up 1 this time around. But still, you've got 3 Molotovs left up. ZywOo, somehow going to find both players over in the toilets, and he's not content with that. Finally going to get shut down by Steel, who does what he can to try and turn the tide back in favor of the Brazilian squad.
What a smart play, though, from ZywOo. He gets 1, and because of the setup, he expects the re-peek, right? So he retreats back a couple of meters, scopes up, and waits for that re-peek from the player playing the close corner. I mean, ZywOo just on another level right now. He was even somewhat prepared for that 3rd player that eventually took him down. He was 12 HP after all, so we can give him a break. 2's enough because it's put Vitality in a post-plant with a man advantage, and they've got 2 Molotovs left for the bomb, plus the AWP. MBK is going to drop Nekkers, and just like that, it is the lone AWPer, but no AWP in his hand, only an M4 on Henny, and he's already duck dive, and forfeited this round for Luminosity.
And that's the real scary thing. You can't be leaving Vitality with so much utility in these post-plant situations, because you look over at Luminosity, they had no smoke, even if they get that bomb site. You know, even if they manage to get there, they're on the bomb. With all those Molotovs left, there's just no way, unless you have a smoke to put that out, and they didn't. So here's this replay from ZywOo. It's all fantastic stuff to find that double. My goodness.
One step ahead.
Yeah, there was a lot of worry about, you know, how he would be affected being up on that stage, you know, being surrounded as well by so many seasoned veterans of the French scene. One thing I'm really liking is, you know, one of the things you always read about with the French scene is that there were kind of some motivation problems along the way. So having this new blood injected into a team like this, I mean, we're seeing a godlike form from the likes of Apex right now. Top of the board, rolling back those years. He is going to get flashed away from long. But doesn't net a frag for Luminosity.
Nice to see Luminosity taking some more map control, though. Not content with just letting Vitality play their own game, they are setting up with this connector boost. It can be a problem if Apex moves in first, and he's been a nuisance down on this B bomb site. MBK going to be moving in from the top lines, but there's so many Ts here. How surprising will it be? Henny finds one, he falls off the top, Apex is behind, and there's the lineup for him. Both frags coming through. That's not going to be too successful for Luminosity, who have now forfeited the B bomb site. One player has desperately run back into position, and that's Steel, but will he get into position before they realize? Happy, looking away. Oh, this could be an opportunity. Steel's there. He gets the frag. That's an AK gifted over, and no one left on short to stop him, but there is Apex down on long, and once again, he strikes from behind. 3 kills as Vitality regain the man advantage, put themselves in a great spot, and rotate that bomb back down.
And everywhere, every turning you take, you seem to be running into Apex, destroyer of men. He's just sitting pretty on this B bomb site now, waiting for his buddies to come rotating in with that bomb. And now this arrives. We're going to be the man to punch in those digits. Luminosity forced into this retake with just Lucas and Yell left standing. A couple of deagles between them, but we haven't exactly seen much that would inspire confidence here. ZywOo going to be holding it down the angle, has this incendiary still left up, but there's still one on Apex, so be sure to keep an eye on that. With no kits, this round certainly doesn't feel recoverable, and ZywOo going to go ahead and make it so. Only Lucas left standing. And he's not even going to go peeking into this. So Vitality, a 10th round, reaching double digits on their T side of Overpass. For those of you who are just joining us, the Frenchman currently sitting 1-0 up in this grand final series. They've won out the map pick of Luminosity back on Mirage in a very dominant fashion, 16-4. Here on their map pick, they look comfortable as ever. 10-4 up over on the T side. And there's no money for Luminosity into the last round of this first half, so that scoreline could look to get even more one-sided here.
Yeah, and doing it on both halves as well, right? Over on Mirage, we had Vitality start things off with an 11-4 CT half. Now it's looking like they might get an 11-4 T half on Overpass, so it doesn't matter where they stand. They are looking incredible here in Atlanta. Luminosity have got to do something to stop this train, and Vitality are going to be running into the B-bomb site just so fast. MBK's already there before Steel is ready. Second player tagged up on short. Nekis does get himself one, but it's an instant trade from Vitality, still keeping that man advantage. The Molotovs do delay them. That's going to mean a bomb plant will come through in a few more seconds, and that allows time for Lucas to get in position in heaven. With only a deagle, this is the only ranged weapon left up on Luminosity to try and find these kills.
He will go pushing on by. He's managed to get past this first smoke. Only issue is MBK lies in wait, and Henny's going to go to take the fight, but he walks to the rest of the French squad. Lucas picked off, and 11-4 at the end of the first half. Vitality dominant as ever here on their T side, not even close to breaking a sweat just yet.
And now the worry's really setting because we have Luminosity moving over to their T side. And if we look back to Mirage, it just didn't look like the same team that we've seen so far this entire event. They were playing slow, they were playing scared. They had some nice surprising executes over on that previous map, but when it actually came down to the typical aggressive and dominant Luminosity T sides that we know and love, I mean, that just looked absent, Harry. So we hope that they're going to come back into form coming into the second half after that minute break, but they've got a lot of talking to do. Things are not looking good for the Brazilians right now. 11-4. Deja vu from Mirage.
Still, we speak about Luminosity getting back into this. We can even look at Vitality in their journey here, right? You kind of think about how things have been for this squad lately. It's been a bit hit and miss online. But here, on land, showing up with all 5 players looking phenomenal. They're trying to set the record straight in Atlanta. They're trying to build up this team to be the next great French team, because there hasn't been one in quite some time. And they are doing it in a dominant fashion here on LAN. A few people had their doubts, and they're looking to try and put that to rest. 11-4 as we get on into this second half. Vitality now on the CT side. They want to try and take this grand final in 2. Luminosity buying up the utility down on Yell. Setting up. And this bomb waiting back over in mid. Yell going to be flashing out the rest of his teammates, but MBK, he's down to take this. Oh, he flashed though. Going to go ahead and mow down those 2 players as they leave the monster tunnel. So a chance for Luminosity to find the pistol at the very least.
Yeah, Long's been opened up as well with 2 players down on Vitality. And ZywOo, he's just going to miss the timing. That's so unlucky. And I think Henny spotted him as well. Henny has the info. ZywOo finally flicks back and does a bit of damage, but he can't commit to this position. He's got to fall off. He knows that Henny can take the A site. They're already taking B in the meantime. Happy only going 1 for 1, and that will not be enough. You need a huge individual effort, and suddenly it's come through. 2 kills just like that. Apex eventually going to go down, but it is left to the new boy on the block. ZywOo, he's got to show us what he can do here in this pistol. The bomb's already crossed, and that will be getting planted. Couple of flashbangs left to facilitate aggressive peaks from Luminosity, and they both go through together. Yell finding the shot, and just like that, Luminosity picking up the pistol. They're back in this game.
And one of the things that we've been saying so much about this Luminosity squad is you look at them, you see that they're very animated, only they're very emotional. They're a very emotional team in that sense, and that can be a bit of a double-edged sword, right? In situations like this, when you're 11-4, 11-5 down now, you can kind of start to get in your own head a little bit. The thing is, if they do start to pick up some of that momentum and we see things turn around, we see Henny coming into his own, we see Steel lighting up the server as we have throughout this event thus far, then there is still hope for them. There is still hope that we can see that 3rd map. It's a long way to go till we get there. Vitality still sitting with a commanding lead under their belt, but Luminosity should at least be afforded a 6th here, as Vitality have taken just a flat eco. Vanilla as it gets over here on this CT side. And Luminosity playing a very, very slow round. Don't want to risk giving anything the way of these Frenchmen.
Yeah, there was a random smoke just thrown into B to, I guess, surprise Vitality, confuse them a little bit, and all that's done is made Vitality rotate back up the A bomb site, which is exactly where Luminosity are sneaking through. So this could come back to bite them. Heavy up on short, only pistols to worry about. Steel does open up 22, getting double peak. ZywOo finding 1. And just like that, the AK is going to retrieve, but will it get out? Yes, it will. ZywOo gets another frag. This is getting awkwardly close. Yell's going to have to try and save the day, and he does do so by dropping Apex. Still this A site looking tantalizing for Luminosity, but finally they're going to consider a rotation. That's the right call to make. But already that AK has rotated back down, so ZywOo going to be in a position to catch this cross, and there's only 1 smoke for it.
ZywOo's already here, charging on in, and he's going to find himself a 3rd. The youngster, the new boy on the block, trying to make a name for himself. ZywOo's going to find absolutely everybody. He's going to get the ace. And that's the 12th round for Vitality. There was worries about whether the pressure up on this stage would get to him. And right now, he's just forged in the embers up on this stage. Look at the smile on that man. How's he managed this?
A full eco ace. Like, that's so out of nowhere. That's so ridiculous. And right when we say Luminosity have a chance to get back into this game, to make this one a close one, to open up the possibility of a 3rd map, ZywOo, a man with yet to, almost 0 top-tier LAN experience prior to this event, comes in and aces them with a USP and an AK picked up. That's just unbelievable. Luminosity going to be kicking themselves here, and they are forcing the issue, trying to fight back. But at this point, after losing a round like that, Harry, that's got to get into your heads.
We were just speaking about the emotional side of it, and now it's, as the pendulum swings, it was looking like they could have picked up some momentum, and now it's straight back against them here. And ZywOo leading that charge. My goodness, what a debut it's been for him here with this Vitality roster. And I mean, to think this is only the beginning of the journey for this squad. This was, one of the first real tests for them. They've already found themselves the man advantage here. in this round. This is the attempted force buy from Luminosity either. This isn't a round that they should be looking to throw away, and they know it. The pressure well and truly mounting up, and MBK is doing a stellar job of holding back this attempted A offensive. Luminosity just pack it all in all together. Down toward B they head. One man here. And he's got to try and hold it down solo. It's RPK, the tank.
Oh, but the Molotov's already pushed him forward. He's going to have to smoke that off. That will make it very clear that he was at least in this position at some point. They're ready for it, but so is he. One kill, damage to the second through the wall, but there's the trades of the pistols, and there's a lineup for Apex and ZywOo. A fragger piece, and the bomb dropped in the open. It's just Nekkers alive, and surely time is too little with Nekkers. A quick couple of digs. There's only 10 seconds left. He can't retreat. He's got to go towards the bomb site, and ZywOo sitting here. He found success in the previous round. He'll find it again. Vitality 13 here. It got close, but close is not enough.
And that's just gut-wrenching for Nekkers. Yeah, betrayed by the timer. You see, maybe anticipating it a little bit more time to work with. Tries to double back, tries to change it up. Realizes that time's tick down low, and ZywOo, props to him. In that 1v1, it's very easy to lose your focus, for a brief moment. You saw he stuck around to take the fight, so there was the chance that round could have gone wrong. But now for Luminosity, it's back to the drawing board. They've had to just take a hard eco here. Nekkers is armed with a dig once again, only this time there's no results from him. ZywOo going to go ahead and best him in that fight once more, rubbing salt in the wound.
And hey, it was Apex at the top of the board this entire map, Harry, but these last couple of rounds has put ZywOo in the driver's seat. And I don't even know if he's old enough to have a license, but this man is tearing Luminosity to shreds. 4 pistols left up from the Brazilians. ZywOo in the connector to cut off this short play alongside Happy, who was a bit aggressive, and that is going to be a bit dangerous. Luckily enough, a team kill essentially gives him a trade there. And ZywOo's still here, which they probably won't expect, but they do hold the angle, and he peeks into it. Yell getting one with the P250, and there's guns dropped over on short. This is still not a good round for Luminosity by any means of the word, but at least they made an opportunity out of it.
Yeah, they certainly have. They have to try and take this opportunity though with both hands. 3-on-3 at present, 40 seconds left, and that time going to start to work against Luminosity now. They go walking into the arms of MBK. They don't get a loving embrace, though. They get a couple of bullets, head their way. Vitality 14-5. Happy looking cold and calculated as ever up on that stage. For him and RPK, still reigning champions here in Atlanta, looking to try and show that in amongst this new roster, they do have what it takes to forge a top team once again.
Right now, it looks like no one's here to stop them, Harry. 5 rounds for Luminosity. Barely into double digits are these players in terms of kills, and Vitality are leaps and bounds ahead of that. They have the rifles up in a last-ditch attempt, facing 15 for Vitality if they can win this. ZywOo checking down long. He's got MBK side by side. These two just seem to be such a formidable duo together. No matter on the T or CT side, they're always covering each other's backs, and they're going to need to do so right now because ZywOo's already been taken out. MBK still up close. There's 2 players pushing in from this position. They've got flashbangs at the ready. MBK's fully blinded. He does get one while fully flashed. Henny's going to trade. So still the man advantage up for Luminosity in a 4-on-3.
First time in a very long time we've seen Luminosity have an advantage and edge in a round like this, and already Apex, you can see he's working overtime. The wheels are turning now as Apex looks to try and do everything. Instead, he will fall short. RPK and Happy left up, and these two haven't exactly been having the most insane of games for Vitality. That said, they haven't really been tested all too much. We haven't really had to call on the likes of RPK to show up in this matchup. Now in a 1v3, does go ahead and whittle down these numbers a little bit. RPK already going to try and best them down toward this B-bomb, so that bomb will manage to get across, and it will go down. As Lucas punches in the digits, RPK making a little bit of noise. It's going to get spotted, but Lucas instantly trades. They double peek into it. And you can see, I mean, not even Luminosity look too convinced with that one. It's going to be another round regardless. The Brazilians still trying to keep the dream alive here in map number 2.
Yeah, Yell had his hands together there. He was like, thank God that we actually won that round after all. That was too close for comfort, but it's put Vitality down to pistols, Harry. That's another chance for Luminosity to get themselves a 7th. Now, do remember, it's not like Vitality haven't been able to win an eco round. Think back to that one absolute blinder with ZywOo. But now he's down in the connector. Two teams on the other side pushing in is ZywOo. It's MBK to trade. There's another player here up on short, and that's a position that the T's don't control right now. Lucas isn't going to be able to cut off that peak, but he will be able to cut down RPK instead. Happy also getting dropped. And that's going to free up a lot of room for Luminosity to charge up towards this A site with only one man in the toilets. That's Apex. They're going to bypass him. He has no idea. He might hear the footsteps, which would sell a bit more information in the way of Vitality. And now with him being on the flank, if he times this well, he could win this round.
He almost certainly could. Apex has gone above and beyond time and time again for Vitality, and Apex lining it up. Oh, a little bit awkward, does go back in. Third time's a charm, as they say, as he tags down Yell into this 2-on-2. And Apex is making Steel feel very claustrophobic. Lucas a long way away from his teammate, and Apex has dropped the bomb. This could be a disaster, as Lucas only just sneaking up from B, and Apex ready and waiting in the bank. Looking to try and take this round. There indeed he will. Apex gets the job done. Lucas going to be kicking himself, and for Luminosity, they keep on having the advantage. They keep on almost locking in these rounds, and then we have these massive individual plays coming in from Vitality.
It is championship point to Vitality off the back of an eco round. Two massive opportunities for Luminosity. One, to actually try and find the conversion after they win the pistol. ZywOo gets an ace. One, to actually get back in this game and deny championship point, and Apex shuts it down with a deagle. Vitality are looking crisp. And Luminosity, they've got nothing left. Pistols in their pockets and no utility behind it, only a smoke and a flashbang. Apex is already confident as well, and him and RPK gonna take down Lucas together on Monster. One by one, Luminosity getting shuffled out of this round, and Vitality, they want that trophy here, Harry, and they might get it.
ZywOo, here he is, he's been a hero. MBK stepping up alongside him. Henny and Neckers, that's all that's left up. Make that just Henny. And we mentioned he's been the star for Luminosity. He's been the diamond in the rough, but a 1v5 is asking so much of him. Vitality gonna shut him down, and they take this series 2-0. Vitality gonna be picking this one up. They make it look easy, not even breaking a sweat. And what does this mean heading forward for the French team? Fantastic stuff from them. For Happy and RPK, they defend their title here in Atlanta. For the rest of the boys, they managed to lock it in. And from here, where does this Vitality team go? The Frenchmen looking to try and be the best French team in the world, looking to try and reach new heights. They've added in a man who's lean, mean, and only 18. That is ZywOo, and he's looking fantastic. Vitality, they cannot be disappointed with this one. Dominant as ever. They're going to be picking up the trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, your champions in Atlanta, Team Vitality!
RPK and Happy reigning back-to-back two-time champions here at the DreamHack Open Atlanta. And, well, for what it's worth, any doubts about if he would or will succeed can now be silenced. He's ZywOo to Saul, and with an outstanding performance here in Atlanta, he's cemented himself as a member of this French lineup and this French scene to come. He's certainly put some pain down range, and this French scene is trending upwards, with this win being a must for the confidence of this young and freshened lineup here of Vitality.
They certainly went through the ringer when this lineup first came together. All the failures in those open qualifiers for the EU Minor, not qualifying for DreamHack Winter, having all those issues, but no one can deny that they made a great run here in Atlanta and finally showed us a little bit of that flair, what we were hoping to see when the lineup first came together. That name value that they had, it did come to fruition here in these finals, and ZywOo, the new kid on the block, did live up to the hype. He performed so well throughout this tournament. He was a monster in this game as well. You know, obviously that big ace on the eco round, the second half will be a memorable one, as many of his plays were. And Vitality got past some of the things I was worried about. Like, they didn't look hesitant on this Overpass game. They were very decisive. They made good use of Apex on the B side. Now, he wasn't just lurking, he was making plays. They had great executes across the board. They just looked way sharper today, which was fantastic.
I mean, one of the things I want to say about ZywOo is the fact that, like, he's a young player coming up in the French scene. These are the players he watched and looked up to. And now he comes to LAN in his first LAN event playing with these guys that he used to idolize, and he's the one that's carrying them to victory. They're the ones telling him, you deserve to pick up the trophy. I mean, that's just wild. That's a cool story.
Well, he's certainly done them a solid here. It's been an outstanding performance of him. We'll get those statistics all lined up and ready to talk through this. But ultimately, guys, what can we say about the latter half of this equation? Because yes, Luminosity did push it this far, but they have caught the ultimate L today.
Yeah, I mean, at least they did make the finals. I mean, again, outside of Valencia, there was constant group stage exits, and I know the struggles have been happening for them online, so it was good to see that they at least kind of rallied together. I just think that we've learned that the type of style of play they're trying to do with Yell as an in-game leader, moving Steel to entry fragging, all these different adjustments they've tried to make internally are not sustainable for success. You know, you still need some type of foundation. You still need, you know, more reliable play to be able to actually win trophies and actually do a little bit better. I mean, commiserations to them. I mean, I think it was a brilliant effort to get here, but I think they're still just missing something.
I think between Steel and Nekaz as well showing up statistically, which is something that we wouldn't always expect to see, that does at least bode well for them moving forward. And potentially it is just one change, and then they can kind of unlock that extra potential to go even further in a tournament. It is another disappointing second place finish at a DreamHack event, but it is kind of a happy ending to a certain degree, because I don't even think that they would get to this point. I thought that they would get knocked out in groups. Yeah, you know, a happy ending. There you can see the stats as well. Even though ZywOo was kind of the flashy playmaker, Apex was very, very present across the whole series.
Also, MBK has been consistently performing all tournament long. I think he's definitely a guy you have to talk about. He's trying to in-game lead. He's entry fragging on certain maps. He's supporting on other maps. He was a great anchor on bomb sites, particularly this A bomb site of Mirage at this grand finals. He was just locking down anything Luminosity tried to do. So I think you have to tip your hat to, you know, MBK, who I think was just proving his versatility time and time again.
And you know what? You talk about MBK, and we can continue to talk about him.
Sure.
Rather, let's talk to him. We do have Nathan standing by, the champions here in the DreamHack Open Atlanta. Congratulations. Nice trophy, man.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got told to bring it, so I just did.
It's a good look for you. It really does. It's kind of fitting here. First and foremost, I guess I need to ask you about some of the emotions that you're feeling right now, right? Because your career has spanned quite some time, and here you are standing lifting a trophy again.
Yeah, I mean, it's been some rough months in the past, and, you know, I don't want to say it's an achievement, but it's a beginning to what we're trying to do. And yeah, I mean, very, very good land from the whole team. And that's the one thing we were looking for. But I mean, that was a great tournament from us. Decent teams that were playing, but we're aiming for more. And yeah, I mean, for now, it's just we won. Nobody can take that from us, and we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah, I can already see that mentality is focused forward, and I think that is important. That, you know, this was a big win, sure, to kind of improve upon some of those online results, but I know that you have your sights set higher. And today, you know, we saw a little bit more decisive play from you guys. I know that early in the tournament we talked about how you would kind of freeze up in the mid round, that maybe there was too many ideas floating around, or you just were a little bit too timid. Today, it definitely looked like you were a lot more confident in your play. Or can we expect this to continue?
I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're going to try to make it in best of ones. I think that's the most important, because we showed that without much pressure in best of threes, because we have several maps behind, that we can play loose and play aggro up to our practice level in that sense. And yeah, I mean, that's the plan moving forward, keeping that confidence, keeping that that game plan that we have, because I mean, when we play against Luminosity here, we roughly knew their playstyle, and so we were also rather focused on what they were doing and countering that. So yeah, I mean, the idea is to let ZywOo lose as per usual, have him kill everyone, and then for us to support him in winning the games.
Well, that's quite the remarkable setup. And in fact, we've set this one up just properly. And you know, Nathan, we've let you hold that trophy, but in fact, we do have an MVP brought to you by Astro here for the DreamHack Open Atlanta. And it's going to be the youngster in ZywOo, so perhaps we can take a look there and give him what is rightfully his. Nathan, anything you could say about your young teammate here?
Future best player in the world if he isn't already. He is amazing as a teammate. I'm really happy to have him play with me. And yeah, he's just a monster, so that's pretty much it.
Dare I say the sky's the limit for him, but I suppose, what are his limits? You know, there really is no skill ceiling for this.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can have much more impact in the team, but I mean, I think it's really just the beginning for him. His skill set is just amazing, whether it is with the AWP, with pistols or rifles. He has everything going for him. And yeah, he is also a very important part of the team because he is willing to do anything to win. So in the sense that he can be put in any situation, he's going to kill everyone. So yeah, he is a very huge asset in our roster.
And in fact, perhaps we can start to look at this play and kind of examine some of the stuff that he's able to accomplish here, because this is no joking matter. This is the future of the French team.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question to ask is, because we've seen what he can do, obviously. We see the potential. We see the skill ceiling. As you said, he's very versatile. He's not just an opper. He's a guy who can take a rifle and help you guys entry into a bomb site or do things within M4 if the economy's not there for the AWP. But what do you think needs to happen next for him to kind of continue this positive trajectory?
Yeah, I think he has, first of all, the right mentality coming into, I mean, in order to grow up as a player. And second, he needs to be the player that people are afraid of on the map perspective. So like being much more proactive on the whole map and taking right decisions at the right moment with the AWP, especially on the city side. And I think that's when he's going to be at his best, because that's when he's going to be the most useful for the team. And then he's just going to rack up kills because people are going to be scared of him and they won't have any utility if he's placed correctly and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, he's on the right path. He just has to keep on working, and that's what we're trying to really put into his day-to-day routine.
Well, Nathan, you're talking about racking up kills, and perhaps this is the beginning of Vitality racking up trophy wins.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, going forward, we're going to let you go catch up with your team and I guess try to shut down Atlanta tonight, because they're going to have to hold on to the ramparts for this one, I think. Yep. Anyway, thank you, Nathan. Congratulations again. We're going to let you go.
Thank you very
much. Guys, yeah, an outstanding performance there by ZywOo. I think the praise is going to be sung throughout the community for this kid, specifically throughout this tournament and going forward.
I mean, the crazy thing is, like, you have this young kid who's insanely talented, and I don't really see any kind of ego. Whereas if this was like a player in North America, you better believe he'd have the biggest ego on Earth. And I love that he's very humble, and he seems committed to the project as well that they're working with in Vitality.
Sure.
Because if I was Vitality, I'd be a little bit concerned, like, we come out to this LAN, and then our young player has one of the best performances. Then you're like, okay, well, all these international teams are now watching this.
Yeah.
And they could be like, well, let's see what this kid does, and just start throwing money at him and see if he tries to jump ship.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, they've taken the first step forward. Like, you did it offline. But now they need to show that they can do it against elite level teams. And the other thing that I feel like they need to show is some more depth. Like, they show that they can play a really aggressive style, but what happens when that doesn't work? You know, I feel like they still do need to kind of be able to play slower CS, be able to play more methodical. So I still think there's some things they need to do before we can say that they're going to become an elite level team. But this is a nice first step in that direction.
Well, we do have a play of the day brought to you by esportmanagement.com. Let's go ahead and run this footage, and it's actually going to be the kid himself. It's going to be ZywOo, the young gunner out of France. So let's roll that footage and take a look. Let me paint the picture here. It's Luminosity versus Vitality. ZywOo on Overpass, and boy, is he lighting them up in this round.
This was the final nail in the coffin. Right when you thought that, oh, Luminosity wins pistol round, second half Overpass, maybe they can rally a comeback. ZywOo says none of that. None of that happening today.
I mean, it's no surprise to see ZywOo being the one that kind of does that too, to deliver that blow. Even though Apex was kind of the statistical high performer for the team, this was what he was good for. And I got to point it out. I want to know what his headshot percentage was throughout that series, because I feel like he didn't hit anything other than headshots. Even when he was shooting through something, even a railing or clipping through concrete, it was almost always a headshot.
Yeah, he was close-eyed people out there.
Well, the headshots don't stop here. In fact, they continue in this little town known as Jönköping in the middle of Sweden, where in which DreamHack Winter, another open stop, the last one of the year, will be going down. Make sure you grab your tickets for that. Yes, it's a little out there, but I can assure you that it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to not only participate or even be around there during that tournament or that event. It's one of a kind, truly a historic event over there in Jönköping, Sweden. And again, check it out. The dates will be November 3rd through December 2nd. Maybe you'll even see some familiar faces there. You never really know. You know what I'm saying? And of course, looking forward, we can start to take a look at the top 5 plays of this tournament. We have to narrow down and isolate some of the best plays throughout the duration, and we can begin to take a look at those right now. Brought to you, of course, by Astro, who's making this all very much possible. Number 5, MSL on Inferno with a 4K.
Yeah, I mean, this is him continuing as an opper for this team after doing it for North at Stockholm, showing that he can at least kind of hold spots, play a role. I'm really curious to see that when he has more time with Rogue, what he's able to bring to the table as far as like bringing more tactics and trying to push them up the NA rankings.
Yeah, I mean, MSL's up was actually somewhat surprising, but...
Number 4, Luminosity versus E United. It's going to be Henny on Inferno.
Now this is actually, you know, a play we had profiled earlier as well. This was a strong hold on Arch side with the AWP, and this is kind of what we saw from Henny all tournament long. You know, when his team was kind of up against the ropes, he was the one to try and bail him out with the AWP.
And we're gonna be going into play number 3. It's gonna be Moose on day number 1 with a 4K, and he's gonna finish it off with style. Watch this.
Yeah, Moose is definitely a name to keep an eye on the North American scene. The most consistent player for United, and one of the guys, I think, in NA who is probably one of the best players playing kind of that peripheral role position, lurking, anchoring sites. I think he is fantastic.
Our second play of the day will come from this day, actually. It's going to be Nekus here. He's going to get a freaking ace, man.
Yeah, and it was all around the map as well. It wasn't like it started, he didn't just line up and eco, he ran across the map, he gets that first kill down ladder, and then he even switches off to the AWP as well. So he gets the first kill here on the Sabrosa, and then he just works his way all the way back around. This was actually looking like a promising round. This is Neptune here who kind of whiffs on Nekus, and I thought that was going to be a round for Ghost, but Nekus just kind of brings it right back around for Luminosity.
Well, our number 1 play brought to you by Astro. It's going to be ZywOo. Yet again, we've already seen this play just recently, but I can guarantee you there's a reason that this kid is putting numbers in his name on the board consistently in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing it to close out the final map of the grand finals, of course, it's going to add that context to make it even more important. So really just a fantastic tournament from ZywOo. We get to see another highlight clip from him to kind of just reiterate how great he really is.
Well, thank you very much, Astro. They're one of the many sponsors that all make this very much possible between Astro, Corsair, Monster Energy, Hacks, and our newfound friends over at, well, it'd be New Belgium Brewing. And in fact, I think it's we crack open a cold one. Yeah, there we go. Ah, dear. Shall we, boys?
We're in the South. To the boys.
Cheers. To you guys. And to you at home. Obrigado to the Portuguese crowd, and thank you to the English crowd that is watching, because I know you're all intently tuned in. Thank you for joining us here, and thank you from production and everyone on board the DreamHack crew. And, well, we'll be seeing you there in Jönköping, so make sure you join us then. Good night and goodbye.